I would like to introduce my Apocatastasis series. The word Apocatastasis comes from Greek and means restoration. The idea that everything, and everyone, will one day be made whole again and reconciled to God. The story takes place on the fictional island kingdom called Le Pays des Cygnes, the land of swans, just a few hours' sail from the French town of La Rochelle, in the years 1654 to 1706. The series begins with David's awakening, a prequel set in 1654 to 1655. David, a 17-year-old runaway, meets Pastor Lucas, who has no idea that this young man is the heir to the throne. Their story unfolds amid the persecution of the Waldensian church, and their friendship, together with David's conversion, becomes the foundation for everything that follows. Then comes the Infernal Plan. Nicolas Renard, a man full of ambition, plots the king's assassination, but God protects David, and Nicolas ends up in prison. There, he experiences a radical change of heart. After encountering God, he begins translating the Bible. A strange friendship forms between David and Nicolas, marked by Nicolas' guilt, gratitude, and the uncertainty of an otherwise confident man. In The Furious God, inspired by the famous sermon Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, the story turns darker. A young man murders several children to send them to heaven. The preacher who inspired him is imprisoned, and Nicolas ministers to him. Meanwhile, Nicolas falls in love with Stella. Next comes The Prodigal Lucy, where Nicolas' daughter runs away from home and faces many challenges and questions of faith. And finally, The Last Letter of Nicolas Renard, set in 2019. Louisa Ward discovers a letter written by Nicolas Renard to his daughter Lucy the day before his death, hidden in an old desk. With her husband, she begins uncovering the stories of long-ago Christians who seem to be connected to her family. A more recent companion book, The Reconciliation of Lucifer with Christ, explores the mystery hinted at in the title itself. At first glance, the fiery lake in the Bible seems like one of its most terrifying images, yet it may be one of the most beautiful pictures of God's love. In the book of Revelation, the word often translated as torment actually refers to a touchstone, a tool used to test the purity of gold. That image, fire as refinement rather than punishment, runs through the whole story. In this book, Jesus wins Lucifer's heart. Along the way, Lucifer's humor often steals the scene, from his sarcasm in the abyss to his teasing of angels and his reluctant softening toward grace. All these books are more than just novels. While Apocatastasis is filled with dialogues about theology, the reconciliation is a bit different. The theological part is separated from the story and goes much deeper. The series continues loosely and ever unshaken, set in 1789, during the turbulence of the French Revolution, which also reaches the small island off the French coast. It follows Edward Sandcreek, a preacher whose faith is tested when he is imprisoned for helping a friend. This story is not about theological debates or reconciliation. It is more practical, inspired by some of Dan Mohler's teachings. It is about how faith in Christ should change the way we live, without hurt, offense, or selfishness. It is about finishing the race well and passing the torch to those who come after us. And now, a few words about the author. Margaretta Chalet is the author of several Christian novels for adults and young readers, as well as other children's fiction. She placed third in a prestigious literary competition, albeit in a galaxy far, far away, in a small country some people could not locate on a map without a hint. She studied humanities at an equally prestigious yet blissfully obscure university, and does not disclose the exact whereabouts of her dwelling, although the reaction would likely be as biblical as, and in such a backwater as Nazareth, do people know how to read and write? Well, not in English, obviously, but she is doing her best.